What's going on, pursuers? Welcome to The Pursuit of Calling, the podcast that provides you with the strategies and tools needed to successfully discover and pursue your calling. Whether it's through inspiring stories, thought-provoking interviews, or quick, insightful episodes on personal growth and development, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Thomas Carney. Enjoy the episode. All right, Hazel, welcome to the Pursuit of Calling podcast.
Thank you, Thomas.
For sure. And before I give a quick intro for Hazel, I do have some quick shameless plugs. If you didn't know, I do a free discovery coaching call for everyone that wants to try out my coaching. So go ahead, you can click the link in the show notes or in the description of the YouTube video and check that out. And I also got on the merch store, there's 20% off right now on your first order. I just upped that I decided to up that right before this recording. So go ahead and get that using code PURSUE20 and go ahead and get your merch now. So, Hazel, thank you for joining me again on the Pursuit of Calling podcast. And Hazel is a Navy veteran with nearly 2 decades of leadership experience and a deep passion for helping others. After spending 20 years mentoring and training service members, Hazel stepped into her God-given calling as a life and leadership coach. She's the founder of Always Equipped and helps young adults and emerging leaders discover their purpose, find their lane, and lead with confidence, both in the marketplace and in ministry. So Hazel, again, thank you.
Wow, my God. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I intend to bless the podcast today, so thank you. It's an honor to be alongside of you today, brother.
For sure. No, I appreciate your yes. So, for those who don't know you, Hazel, who is Hazel Stevens?
That was a brilliant introduction. You had me smiling the whole time. First and foremost, I am a God-fearing woman. God-fearing woman.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, I wear many hats, but my passion right now is helping people awaken to who they've been called to be. So I am still active duty right now. I intend to retire here in less than 8 months. So the veteran status is coming very, very soon. But I'm just a humble servant, a disciple just like everybody else who's activated in their calling. The purpose, I'm excited about that. I'm 100% committed to that. And that is the primary mission right now, is to stay anchored into that.
Awesome. So, you describe yourself as a God-fearing woman, right? And a coach helping others discover their purpose. When did you first sense God's calling on your life to do this kind of work?
Ooh. I would say, so what I've learned, Thomas, is purpose is not discovered in motion. It's revealed in stillness. So if you remember the popular saying that goes, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan.
Yep.
That was me. So right before COVID, I thought I had it all figured out. The plan was to stay in LA. I was living in LA at the time. I had just bought my first home. My future was going to be that life, to live the Hollywood LA life. I was going to retire out there and do some other things that really didn't align with the purpose. It was what I wanted to do. And I couldn't understand why nothing was aligning the way I needed to align. It was just way too many anomalies that was thrown into it. Long story short, I went through a season. I wouldn't say it was a Job season, but I went through a season of transformation. I was like in the stages of becoming a butterfly, right? So I'm still like in a cocoon phase, and I didn't understand what was happening. So I've been in and out of church, all of my life. And I don't think I was 100% dedicated to that
Mm.
until I hit that season. So that definitely set me down, and I was forced to consecrate. And I went through a huge stillness period, and I came out refreshed, renewed. I rededicated my life. I got baptized at the beginning of 2025. This stillness, this consecration period took about a year, may I add. But I
Mm.
came out with so much clarity, so much purpose, and that is the go. I am no longer in California. That dream of mine has been put to bed. Um, and I am over here in Florida now, the Sunshine State. It's
Mm.
making a full turn.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the days when I first joined the Navy, I would always say to myself, I'm going to retire in Florida. Didn't know why, didn't have any memories of being here before.
Mm.
Right? It was almost as if I was pulling into a consciousness that I haven't hit yet.
Mm.
So that season birthed the new version of who I am today, who is focused on what God has me focused on. It wasn't my plan,
Mm-hmm.
it was God's plan for me. And it's just been brilliant. Um, like you said, it's been 20 years that I've been in the Navy.
Yep.
Um, that's a career. That's a huge career. So I thought I was done. I'm about to be retired before I'm 40. But my pastor always says, and he says it brilliant, nothing is lost in the kingdom.
Mm.
What you
Yeah.
call the career was actually a classroom.
Mm.
So the things that I learned, the patience that I learned, the leadership experience that I had, all the discipline that I've learned, the independence, the mentoring, the developing people throughout the military, all of those things, those traits, those skill sets that I learned, nothing is lost in the kingdom. God is
Mm.
like, that was just a classroom. I'm taking that and applying it to the next season of your life, which is going to feed your purpose.
Mm.
So here I am.
Yeah. I like what you said there. You the first thing that you said that I have in my notes there is purpose is found in stillness. I I'm interested to honestly hear a little bit more about that. If you're okay with diving into that a little bit deeper.
Okay. Yes, yes. So you have to silence the noise. Um, I don't believe that purpose is found. Like
Yeah.
you don't find it, you discover it. Like you don't discover it, you don't find it, you uncover it.
Mm.
It's already within you.
Mm-hmm.
All of us
Mm.
were destined for a purpose. We were designed for purpose. We
Yeah.
all have a purpose. Our presence has a
Amen.
purpose.
Yes.
So it's already within you. And that's what I get the honor to do when I'm coaching and when I come alongside of individuals is helping them uncover what God has already placed within them. So a lot of that it doesn't happen with too much busyness and too much motion.
Mm.
Once you begin consecrating, once you get still and have those conversations and silence everything out, you
Yeah.
hear God's voice and you can kind of uncover what it is. Why am I here?
Mm.
Mark Twain puts it this way. There's two times you're born,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's 2 days you're born. The first day
Yep.
is your birth date,
Yep.
right, from your mom. And the second is the day you find out why.
Yep.
The why is the purpose.
Mm. That's really good. I it's actually kind of funny that you just said the phrase "Why are you here?" And for the OGs that have been listening to this podcast for a while, it used to be called Technically Short, and was with a roommate, and that name was just a play on our names. It was just we did it for fun, and we ended up doing a series that we didn't have an end date for that was called "Why Are You Here?" And we talked to a bunch of different people, from our church. We got a bunch of different perspectives on purpose and calling and what all that meant to like our mentors and to our friends, and it's what ended up shaping what this podcast is now. And so when my roommate, he went to the army, and he was like, he goes, you can take it, you can do what you want with it. And so then I took it and I merged it with my coaching, and took that, and then that's where the title Pursuit of Calling came from, because I was like, I don't want to talk about anything else. And I like what you said, like the purpose is already within you. It's already like God has that divine calling, that divine purpose for your life, for you. When you discover what that purpose is, and you learn to see life through that lens, through listening, through like what you said, through the stillness and through listening and through like understanding, like God's been using other people to point me this way all this time. Like people will point out the gold within you. Will say like, hey, you're really good in this area. You might brush it off, being like, oh, that's just me. This is how I am. That just comes to me naturally. And I think that's that's like a great indication as to what your calling could be based on a few other things in your life. But there's like, because not everyone's called to be an entrepreneur, not everyone's called to be a coach, like, and not everyone is like, not everyone's called to go to college, and pursue a career that way. And whenever you realize that you don't have to do just what society tells you to do, because that's what I did. I went to college, I got a job, and I was like, man, I did it. Life. So I did it. I got my job, and then a couple of years in, I was like, man, this it? So no, I like a long way to say yes. Everything you're saying, and like again, I'm really happy to have you on the show. Like everything you're saying, it resonates with the people. I would say it resonates with the listeners of this podcast really well.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, Thomas, because I think a lot of people conflate the two. They conflate what purpose and calling is. So purpose is why you exist. That's the reason God created us. Your calling is how you carry that out in a particular season.
Yeah.
So that's going to be associated with the roles. So your calling, because it could be seasonal, your calling can shift, but your purpose stays the same. So I like to put it like this. Your calling is the invitation. It's a verb. God is calling you into the certain role to fulfill your purpose. So your calling is the invitation. Your purpose is the assignment. So this season, I answered the call to go very deep on life and leadership coaching.
Yeah.
Last season, that wasn't the case at all. I was knee deep into being a personal trainer in LA.
Okay.
So the purpose doesn't change. It's
right.
The calling changes, and the calling is seasonal. So in order to fill your purpose, essentially that's going to be measured by how many roles you accept that God is calling you to. So that's why people can't marry a certain role, because it's seasonal. When God calls you to lay that role down, who are you? What do you have? So to fulfill your purpose is going to be contingent on how many times you say yes to the roles that God throw at us.
Yeah. And now that we're diving into this a little bit, with this podcast being called The Pursuit of Calling, what would you say your calling is right now? If you say it would be the coaching, or how about we dive in? You can also talk about the purpose as well.
Okay. So my calling right now, Thomas, is to equip and empower people to live and lead in purpose. So I do that by aligning their mindset, their purpose, and their leadership impact, so that they can too answer the call and fulfill the purpose that God has on their life and be the best version of themselves while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's to help them stop, watch this, living beneath who they were created to be.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Man. Hmm.
That's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah. Hmm. What's a sign that you're living beneath who you're created to be?
Unfulfillment.
Hmm. That's
And
good.
people conflate the two. They conflate success with
Mm-hmm.
fulfillment.
Yeah.
It's two different, right? They're
Yeah.
attached. It's different.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Hmm.
Fulfillment is not tied to your finances.
Right. No, that's
Fulfillment is tied to your purpose.
yeah.
So God did us a favor so that we
True.
will always chase our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
He wrapped our fulfillment into the purpose.
Hmm.
So meaning, and my coach and my pastor, he says this brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
You will never be fully fulfilled until you're walking into your purpose.
Yeah.
A portion of you will always feel like there's something missing
Mm.
because it's not tied to your finances.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's man. Okay. Now that's like you could have like you could have said unfulfillment and just let that sit. And I was like, oh, like that is so simple. Like it's like and I'm like, no, oh, man, okay, cool. So
I could have come through Holy Spirit because I could have,
yeah, for sure.
but I felt that prompting, that
Yeah.
nudge.
No, no, everything else you said was good too. You just said unfulfillment, and I was like, oh, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
And
So,
hopefully that freed somebody.
oh, I hope so too. So, you talk about helping young adults specifically. We talked about that in our pre-interview between 18 and 35, find their purpose and grow as leaders. What do you see as the biggest barriers holding this generation back?
Woo! Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. I do a lot of training around bridging the communication gap with
Hmm.
multi-generational teams and
Mm,
organizations. So that's a great question. Off the top of my head, I would say I typically see three barriers to that.
mhm,
So I would say confusion, comparison, and comfort.
mm,
So most people are confused about who they are. They're not clear. They haven't
mhm.
uncovered their purpose,
Yeah.
right? The comparison part, what we're seeing, and oh my God, this is so prominent today.
Mhm.
A lot of people are comparing themselves, their struggles in their life, their day-to-day life to other people.
Yeah.
And watch this. These people that they're comparing themselves to aren't real. They're Instagram reels.
Yep. Yep.
And with AI emerging, it's hard to identify. Well, it could
Mm,
be hard to
right.
identify what's actually real.
Hmm.
So we see a lot of people falling into the spirit of comparison.
Hmm.
And Dr. Daniels puts it like this. He says, comparison turns your calling into a competition.
Mm,
And then lastly, comfort. People, from what I've seen, right,
yeah.
and this is just Hazel, are too comfortable where they are
Hmm.
to step into what God has called them to be.
Hmm.
Your purpose is going to cost you your comfort. So those are the barriers that I see off the top of my head. Those three. There's a lot of others, but those three: confusion, comparison, and comfort. 100%. could hold them back.
Mm-hmm. The comfort one's huge. It's, you said, being too comfortable where you get too comfortable, so then you're kind of ignoring the call. Because
Yes.
you're like, I'm good where I'm at, God. Like, I'm happy here. I'm comfortable. I don't have to worry. Like, maybe I don't got to worry about money. Like, but
Oh
you're
my
telling
God,
me,
that's good, Thomas. That's good.
but yet God's like, hey, God's like, son, could be like he asked the young rich ruler, in scripture, he asked the young rich ruler to, the only thing he had to do, what do I need to do to like really follow you? He goes, sell everything.
Yes. Let's do a
And
character check really quick.
what's that?
That's what he was saying,
Yeah,
modern day.
yeah,
He already knew the answer. He already knew what he's going to do. He's God.
right, right. And it's like, and then the only thing we get to know about the young rich ruler after that is that he like walked away sad. We don't know what he actually ended up doing, but man, it's like we get so wrapped up in success, in our own comfort, that we forget that life is supposed to be uncomfortable. Like, I like the one thing I like to say on this podcast a lot, that your calling isn't for you.
100%.
Like, you're going to grow, right? You're going to grow as you pursue your calling. You're going to garner some benefits, but if you're only seeing it through the lens, like, your life through the lens that I just want to build myself up, then you're at best like not affecting the people around you at all, and at worst you're hurting them.
Ooh. Oh my God. I'm glad that you said that, right? Because
Yeah.
it's so true. True Blood says this: intentional mediocrity is sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say, and it's one of my signature taglines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intentional mediocrity isn't harmless, it's a betrayal to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
when we
good.
settle for good enough, that's that
Mm-hmm.
comfort. When
Yeah.
we settle for good enough, we're rejecting the excellence and the intention that God placed within us.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's not just a personal loss,
Mm-hmm.
it's a loss to everyone that's assigned to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about you. Your gifts aren't for you. A tree does not eat its own fruit.
That's good. That's good.
So
Now
that's
there.
that's the comfort part. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, that could become a barrier, and we're seeing it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna start wrapping up, with a few of the two final questions. This has been a fantastic conversation, and I'm really happy that, again, thank you for being on the show. I know I got two more
My
questions,
pleasure.
but I'm gonna say it again. Um, and but for the listeners and for myself, what would be, based on this conversation, based on what what you would typically recommend people, what would be like the top resource that you would usually recommend to somebody to help them grow and, like you said, help them maybe bridge that generational gap, or anything else that we talked about today?
Okay. Um, one of the resources that I would recommend, if we're talking personal development, as you know, that's near and dear to my heart. I do a lot of coaching around that.
Yes.
A timeless resource, I would say, is the 15 Laws of Growth by John
Mm-hmm.
Maxwell. That's huge. I do a mastermind all throughout the year surrounding that, where we're training and exerting and extracting principles from that, to
Mm-hmm.
help people be more intentional,
Yeah.
about what they're going to do. The next resource I would say, since we're talking about calling and purpose, Dr. Darius Daniels, my coach, he has a great, brilliant book titled, Your Purpose is Calling. That is what's on my nightstand. And this is my second time reading it. So that's a huge reminder that your purpose is calling. Answer. It's an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to lock in. Answer it.
No, I appreciate those. I'm going to link both those in the show notes, and I think it's funny. Most of the people I have on the podcast, well, every guest I've had for the last couple of months have been from from Maxwell, and most people do recommend 15 Laws of Growth. So I'd say you might
It's
want to go
so
buy that
good.
book, guys.
It's so practical. It's so
I
good.
know. And final question for you. This is for me, and actually it's for my listeners too, if they want to go check them out. But who do you know that I should know? This is a great question I learned from John just through through his content, through getting to know him. And this is a great question that I like to ask to find more guests for the podcast, network a little bit more, and grow.
Oh, 100%. I would say I recommend connecting Thomas with other transformational coaches. You've
Mm-hmm.
already activated that, and you're active in that, and other thought leaders, who are
Mm-hmm.
faith, driven and purpose
Mm-hmm.
centered. So, and I have about a dozen of them that I'm going to recommend to you and lay before you here in a few hours.
Um,
On week one of the mastermind. They don't know that you're a surprise guest yet. So I would say I would start there, and then anyone from Dr. Daniel's Premier Coaching Network, right?
okay.
So all of us, we're individuals who are committed to equipping other people to lead from purpose, not pressure.
Mm,
So I have a few people that I'm going to connect you with on the mastermind
great.
for that. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I
And
appreciate that.
like I said, he's my coach, so he's a great one to follow. Dr.
Mm,
Darius Daniels, he's one of the greatest communicators right now of our time.
mm. Oh, I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm excited for the mastermind. It's just in a couple hours, so I'm ready for it.
Yes,
But yeah,
yes.
well, guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pursuit of Calling podcast. If you enjoyed it and if you got something out of it, first share it if you believe this is going to help somebody that would benefit from anything that we talked about today. Then share it out on every social media platform that you use, on and whatever major podcasting platform that you use. Go ahead and give this podcast a 5-star review and a comment that helps algorithm, helps algorithm and helps other people know what you think about the podcast. So, all right, guys, keep pursuing your calling, and I'll see you next time. Bye.